Hello everyone. So we are live. We are going to be talking about the severe weather and tornadoes that are going to be happening from April 9th, which is today, all the way until April 11th. This will affect basically every single state that touches the Gulf and the East Coast. So let's get into it. So starting off with right now, April 9th, 2024, we have an enhanced risk for Texas and Louisiana. This is driven by tornadoes and wind and hail. This is just driven by all factors. So this is a high-end enhanced risk. So this is a level 3 out of 5, but I would say like it's a level 3.8 out of 5 if you would add in the tornado risk, the wind risk, and the hail risk all being capped out for enhanced. So hello everybody who's just joining the stream. So we will have a tornado outbreak that is going on with the peak being tomorrow in Louisiana. So currently we do have a 10% hatched risk of tornadoes, including places east of Waco, Lufkin, and a little bit of Alexandria. Jaden Copeland, hello. M. Gilland, hello. And DJ TV Man, hello. This and that, Mr. Newsboy, hello. Welcome you guys to the stream. Be sure to like this. Be sure to like the stream to support me, and thank you. So I'll go into more detail with this in a minute. But if we do look at the day 2 outlook, so this is for tomorrow. This is April 10th, 2024. And if you look at this, this is a moderate risk driven by tornadoes. There's a 15% hatch risk of tornadoes, including areas east of Alexandria, Jackson, Mississippi, and north of Mobile. So a 15% hatch risk means that if you're in this risk, you have a 15% chance of having a tornado within 25 miles of you, and there's a good chance that tornado will be significant, meaning it will be an EF2 plus. An EF2 tornado can do things like pick up cars, rip roofs off of well-built houses, and completely destroy mobile homes. Why don't you upload? I don't upload that much because like I don't have that much time and it takes a lot more effort to upload. I will start uploading more stuff like those. The latest video that I uploaded was like the month in review of tornadoes. I'll do that for February, probably this weekend. I'll do that. So yeah, stay tuned for that. This is also driven by a 45% hatched risk of wind. So once again, that means that you have a 45% chance of seeing a wind knot over 65 knots within 25 miles of you. So 65 knots is around 70 miles per hour. You had a tornado, Jaden Copeland? I'm glad that you're okay. That's crazy. Can we join lounge? Once we're done with this, yes, we can. Yeah, EF2 is 111 to 135 mile per hour winds that are all going straight up into the air in this way and that way. Talking this and that, not you. Friday for North Carolina, actually Thursday for North Carolina. And then also there's a 15% chance of hail for the Tuesday risk. And then if we go to the day 3 risk, this doesn't give you probabilities. It does just give you that there's a 15% chance of severe weather. But I would assume that this would probably be a 15% chance of wind down here in this slight risk, accompanied by a 5% tornado risk. And the same goes up here with a 15% wind and a 5% tornado risk. Hail on this day should be very minimal. Maybe some spots will see a 5% risk, but those will be very isolated spots. So a 15% risk is definitely something you should look out for, but nothing to raise a lot of panic about. The day to raise panic about is definitely Wednesday, which is tomorrow. A 15% hatched risk of tornadoes is nothing to joke about. There will be significant tornadoes tomorrow. So let's look at what the atmosphere will look at, and then we'll look at some soundings. So this is currently 500 millibar winds, so a couple thousand feet above our heads, and this is the speed. And yeah, this is the speed that they're going at. So this is where our trough currently is located. So let me get this little paint doodie out. So as you can see, we got our trough right there. It is currently positively tilted just a little bit. It will turn neutrally tilted and then negatively tilted. So if we do drag this through, Hold on, let me look at right now. Right now, there's a little bit of a short wave, and that's causing a lot of storms to develop up here. Very messy currently. Let's pull up the radar and see what is really going on right now. That 2011 Raleigh tornado. Yeah, that was an EF3. That's if you just search up a Raleigh tornado, it's known for that. That tornado was crazy. Currently we do have some flood warnings. Nothing big going on. A couple severe warnings for these hail dominant supercells over there. Yeah, 1.75 inch hail near Austin, inch hail. So these supercells over here, I don't expect these to produce really. I don't expect anything to really produce in this Texas environment until overnight, whenever the sun is down. Because there's really not enough shear right now, but there is a lot of the thermodynamics needed for hail. So any of these supercells going on right now will produce some crazy big hail. As you can see, there's going to be some more that will be forming. But until this actual trough comes through this area, I do not expect that much shear to be in the area. Have you seen the eclipse? Yeah, I was over here in Raleigh. I had about 81%. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. But definitely would have been way cooler if I was in the path of totality. There we go. Gilland, I don't know where that is. What state or country or whatever. Your cat is dead in the tornado. I'm sorry. Let's see. Been 2 months. No soon for the answer. Sorry, it's been 2 months. I don't think it's been 2 months, but maybe. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. You got some supercells, and then over here you got a flooding threat with a linear system. Yeah, that definitely is it's a wind and flooding threat right over there. A lot of rain. But let's go back to what we were doing. So right over here, this is 18Z. So this is 2 p.m. EST, 1 p.m. CST. And finally say, oh no, I can't say standard time. I gotta say EDT and CDT. All right. So this is 00Z, so 8 p.m. EDT, 7 p.m. CDT. And you can see that trough is definitely progressing. Once we reach this area, this is where I think we'll probably cap out with our tornado risk. Right on this 87 knot area, I want to take a sounding, just see what it's like. This might be in the elevated convection. Yeah, it is, it is. Let's take one, oops. Take one that's more ahead. What about right over there in that 50 knot area? There we go. Shear is still pretty minimal over there. That's more where the risk is. Yeah, shear will definitely stay minimal. And then as you can see, that trough progresses right there. Here it is neutrally tilted. So as you can see, your trough is right there like that. And it looks to be neutrally tilted. You want it to be negatively tilted so that way it can bring as much moisture up here as it can. And you also want those winds to be backed, which they are, with a negatively tilted trough. So this trough will just continue to progress. And right over here at 18Z, Louisiana is in standard time, or central time. So that right there would be 1 p.m. right over there. You got some very strong winds, 78 knots right over there. I believe that is also where the elevated convection is. So right ahead here, you got 60 knot winds. Yeah. We'll look at more soundings later. I don't know why I'm taking soundings. And then as the trough moves over Louisiana, it's gonna stay positive or neutrally tilted. Still, I'd say it's positively tilted now. And then there we go. Now it's negatively tilted. By the time it's basically done impacting the United States, it's then neutrally tilted or negatively tilted. So it should be neutrally tilted trough for most of the time. School's in a lockdown for 5 minutes. Hopefully it was just a drill then. It was only for 5 minutes. Am I blind from the solar eclipse? No, I am not. Since I'm not in totality, that's how I could get blind from it. Because once you're in totality, once it hits totality, you can look at it because it's not bright. Totality definitely seems like a lot of fun. Alright, enough with these super high winds. Let's look at some that are a little bit closer to our heads. And you want these to be southeasterly winds. So this is where we are at right now. As you can see with that low linear system right there, you do have some nice low level winds over here. Let's see what environment this is moving into. Pretty decent environment cape wise. Could have a bit more shear. But yeah, definitely anything that forms there will develop. And then we gotta reload this. Sorry. Oh, why did it log me out? Okay, whatever. And then as you get into the day tomorrow, that's whenever you have these way better low level winds. I mean, look at these winds. Check it out over here in Georgia. That right there is 12Z, so that is 8 a.m. But you got 70 knot low level jet winds. And then up there in Virginia, you got 70 knots as well. That is 8 p.m. So definitely as this trough progresses, it will have way greater low level winds. Especially for the risk tomorrow. Check that out right over there. That's in the tip of Mississippi, 60 knot winds. So enough with that. Let's look at the risk to a day. I don't know why it keeps on logging me out, but whatever. Let's look at our supercell composite for today. This is the wrap sounding. So this is where we're at right now. We have some good environment for that system that is in Louisiana currently. Wow. Nice, that's nice. Cape, mid-level cape nearing 2,000 joules per kilogram. Some great storm relative helicity around 253. Let's see. 3 cape could be better. There is a little bit of a cap or a warm nose right over there. That could be a reason to maybe make these more discreet as they move into Louisiana, but also could make the storms less powerful. It could affect the updraft. But as we move through the day today, that Louisiana area definitely could see some stuff. But we will get a second band as that trough moves over Texas again. And oh, this is 18Z. It's fine. But as you see down here near the Austin area, you do got some stuff again that does want to load. And about the same environment, a bit less shear. So today's risk, I don't expect to do much. It's going to be very messy. But tomorrow's risk is also going to be really messy. Excuse me. So we'll see how it goes. Alright, here's our simulated radar by the HRRR. That's where we're at right now. Looks pretty accurate to me. We got that system over there and some hail supercells over there in Texas. As we move through, we will get new bands from the south that'll move up. And that will be our main threat for tomorrow. So this is very, very early mornings of tomorrow, which still counts as day 1. So right over here you have this QLCS system that is forming. This is the last hour of day 1. But look at this QLCS right here. That is crazy. Like there's hail embedded, like big hail embedded in that. Probably with the environment that's in front of it, you probably got some tornadoes and definitely a lot of winds, especially where it's bowing out, like right up here. Like let's just take a sounding right in front of that. And it is contaminated, but as you can see, got a lot of cape. I mean, 2,000 mid-level cape for 7 a.m. in the morning. That is pretty crazy. And then that leads us into tomorrow. So let's talk about tomorrow. Here's the wrap sounding from tomorrow. So here's 12Z. So this is the start of the day tomorrow. As you see, as we move through, right over here, Louisiana, already 16Z. I have no clue what time that is, but you can assume that it is, I'm just going to say like 12 o'clock. No, not 12 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock, right? Yeah, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock a.m. As you can see, 2,149 mid-level cape. Pretty amazing shear right there. 232 storm relative helicity. Some decent 3 cape values. Still got that warm nose that we were seeing. So that could limit storms. As we move through the day, that warm nose will probably go away. But so will our severe threat. It's really a morning severe threat. And then as we move through, there you go. So let's take another sounding. This one is more in the afternoon. This is around 3 o'clock. So let's look at that. That's still a great sounding. So yeah, tomorrow is definitely going to be the big day, especially in Louisiana. I would say the whatever you want to call that, the I guess Louisiana's a boot, so the bootleg, I don't know. That's definitely where I think your worst severe weather will be. Here's 18Z, so early afternoon, and it's looking crazy. If we look at the simulated radar for tomorrow, this is 12Z, so this is the first hour of tomorrow. And it looks like we gotta refresh it. All right, here's 13Z. So as you can see, this will be a QLCS threat with possibly some semi-discrete supercells in front of it. But it's mainly this threat with this linear QLCS system. And as you go more south, that's where you have the messier storm mode and maybe some semi-discrete cells. But probably not. It's a very messy system. Like this is something you normally see during January of how messy it is. I mean, this system is extremely similar to the January 8th and January 9th outbreak. If you do want to do some research on that, that had around 35 tornadoes. Most of them were on the Florida Panhandle. In this case, though, the threat is not really in the Florida Panhandle. It's instead in Louisiana. But still a very, very similar setup, except we have moisture this time. But yeah, definitely a QLCS threat for tomorrow, and that will continue all the way into Florida Panhandle, Georgia, and everything. All the way into Georgia, and this band will affect South Carolina and North Carolina, but it shouldn't be very severe in the morning hours. Maybe the tail end of it will be severe though. But that's for tomorrow's risk. So let's go into tomorrow's risk. Here's the NAM. So gotta refresh this as well. When is Fayetteville, North Carolina gonna experience the storm? I'll tell you that in a second. Let's see. Yeah, a cap and a warm nose is basically the same thing. Warm nose normally means that like the cap isn't that strong. It's just kind of like limiting the instability in that layer. All right. So here's the supercell composite from the NAM. So right here, yeah, right here. So this is the start of tomorrow. We still got that threat lingering in Georgia and Alabama, and that threat will continue to linger, and then it will make its way up right over here into the Carolinas, and all the way up there into Ohio. Ohio, you have more of a supercellular risk. North Carolina and South Carolina and Georgia, that risk is more messy. It still kind of is an organized cells, but like I don't know if they will be supercells or not. Maybe embeds. It's hard to tell. It'll be a very messy system. But me personally, I think that Ohio has the greatest supercellular risk, and North Carolina and South Carolina has the greatest overall risk. So if we do take a sounding right over here, this is 0Z, so 8 p.m. Take a sounding down here. Amazing, amazing shear. Very limited instability. Very limited. Not even reaching 1,000 joules per kilogram. But shear can make up for that. This is a very low cape, high shear event. And let's take one up here. The threat in Ohio Valley area is more of an early morning, and in North Carolina, it's late afternoon, evening. Yeah, I like this threat a lot more. You got yourself around 1,000 joules per kilogram of cape. Your shear is not as great, but it is still there. Definitely more than enough for tornadoes. And then let's look at the simulated radar. This is the NAM 3 kilometer, and it is far out. I don't like to use this for North Carolina and South Carolina because this is normally an outlier. But it's the only thing that we got, so we will use it. So starting the day, as you can see, we still have this leftover rain in North Carolina, South Carolina. You get your supercellular risk in Ohio, and then it looks like it turns into a QLCS system, which will then probably bring damaging winds and tornadoes. And then your risk is a bit later over here in North Carolina, starting at 8 p.m. You got yourself maybe a few supercells, but these don't look too strong as instability is not too high, so they won't get going too early. But this is in western North Carolina and central South Carolina. And it doesn't look like they really maintain themselves very much. This is very, very, very similar to what the models were showing for January 9th for North Carolina. And that produced a long track tornado over here near Charlotte. And a couple supercells that came off the shore over here on the coast. And then that'll move off the coast and not be with us anymore. Yeah, that's all the 18Z runs that have worked so far. Yeah. I do not know Project Zorgo hacking division. What time is it in my state? It is currently 5:55 in North Carolina. The threat for North Carolina, South Carolina is nocturnal. The threat for Ohio is going to the Ohio River valleys is going to be early afternoon. So that's really all that we got. So thank you guys for joining. I gotta go, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.